Hi, this is Greg with Best Choice Trailers. Today I wanted to take a walk around the Lamar DL Series dump. Shown here is a 7x14, 14,000 pound GVW. Most items in this particular unit here are stock items. There's a few options and I'll mention them as we go around. This particular unit is available in a 12 and a 16 foot model as well. It's available in a bumper pull as shown or a gooseneck model. It's also available with an optional 8K axle upgrade or 777s. So again, shown here is a 7x14, 14,000 pound. It's going to weigh in a little over 4,000 pound empty. It's going to leave a net legal payload of about 10 plus your tongue weight. Tongue transfer via the ball tends to be about 15%, which comes out to about 2,000 pounds. We try and tell people to count on a little bit less than that, because of course that would require being perfect on both axles of the trailer and the GVW. So you have a net legal payload somewhere, we'll say around 11,000, give or take. So standard equipment on this up front is a 6-hole adjustable coupler. It's a cast coupler, not a stamped. This one's got the Demco Easy Latch coupler. Most of our customers seem to like the Easy Latches. If you don't, we've got other couplers available. Kind of the beauty of this one would be it simply auto latches as you put it down on the ball. And it's also the heaviest rated. It's 21,000 pound rated coupler, where most are going to be 14 to 16. Generally, we'd give you a no charge swap if you want a different one, but certainly that's a very nice one and one of the most expensive that we see in the industry. Heavy duty front faceplate. It's got the 8-inch I-beam mainframe. On these, we have always done the 12K jack. These are now a standard feature on this particular unit. It's also got the cold weather harness standards. The cold weather harness is rated to negative 65 degrees. It's blue corded harness. It's also got a 7-pin blade, which is standard on almost all trucks now. It's got a 20-foot all-weather remote cord. Lamar uses a little bit heavier gauge toolbox. There's a lot of little details on the units that they do a little different. I believe this is a 12 gauge, where I think most toolboxes are made out of 14. It's visibly heavier even just from the lid. Little detail, but there's a lot throughout the trailer like this. They do a interstate deep cycle marine battery, but they put it in a box. That way if you were to put a strap or similar on inside the toolbox, hopefully you're not going to be arcing. It's also got the 20-foot cord KTI pump. It is power up, power down. They also do a 110-volt charger built into the box. Simply plug house current into the outside. It'll keep your battery maintained. Now this is a 140 amp hour high capacity group 24, a 5 amp hour charger. Means you need to charge a fully discharged battery for about 30 hours. Some customers would make the mistake of just doing it, say, overnight. It needs to be more like a weekend if the battery's completely discharged. Standard equipment now on these is a Tarp Kit. Now this is a nicer kit. It's actually an aluminum sail bar included as well. Sail bar doesn't normally come with tarps. That simply makes the deployment of the tarp a lot easier. It's also got the guides that will guide it as well when retracting the tarp. Nice kit overall. It's got a spring latch handle that actually swivels in out of the way. So with the 8-inch I-beam frame, they put gussets at your brake point. Lamar does this rigid top rail. This heavy-duty top rail is actually designed for the rental industry, where guys might say be a little more careless because it's not their equipment. So they do a 3-inch lip instead of a 2, and then they return it all the way back. At the time they were, I believe, the only one doing this. Now I see 1 or 2 more doing it. Nice setup, certainly stiffens that up quite a bit. They also do a double broke fender standard with a gusseted fender return. So the 2 gussets on the fender, I should say the 2 brakes in the fender add strength, and then the gusseted return also gives a lot of strength. Not every manufacturer does that, but in the event somebody were to do something more than just kicking it, but say hitting it into an object, gonna make it a lot harder to bend that fender up. Certainly gives you a nice spot too to mount a fender mounted light. So instead of a light that maybe is in the fender, gives you a nice spot front and back to mount it too. This one is equipped with a charcoal powder coat with a black mod wheel. Gives it a nice look, certainly different than most in the industry. We have equipped this one with the optional 14-ply tire upgrade. Just on a heavier duty dump like this, we feel that the tire upgrade may be warranted for the user that would likely buy this trailer. 14-ply rubber's got more tread. It's got a deeper tread, certainly a stiffer sidewall. It's a higher load range. Instead of a 10-ply, it's a 14-ply. This unit is a 235/85 instead of an 80. Does sit just a hair taller, about a ½ an inch taller. This unit is equipped with the forward adjusting brakes, and then it's also got the Easy Lube hub. So behind that black cap, there's a grease zert that average homeowner with a grease gun can service their own bearings. This unit does also have a slipper spring suspension, and in the middle there you'll see a grease zert, or what they'll call a wet bolt kit, to where you can make the suspension components last a little longer with some grease. This unit does use 4-inch D-rings inside the bed, and then they also give you some 4-inch or 5/8 inch rings outside as well. Most in the industry are going to use a 1/2 inch or a 3-inch D-ring. These have a little bit heavier ring. Now, certainly one of the benefits to Lamar is a handful, but probably the most common would be the 7-gauge one-piece floor on these. 7-gauge or 3/16 is about 2.5 pounds per square foot more weight than would be 10-gauge or 1/8 inch, which is more common in the industry. So on a trailer 714, I believe that's 98 square feet of floor. You've got about 250 pounds of extra steel here. So certainly a good bit more substantial floor than what would be normal in the industry. Lamar, currently, to the best of my knowledge, is about the only one doing a 7-gauge floor. On the door, we've got a cam bar lock that goes top to bottom. Keeps that door nice and snug in the event that you're going to spread with it. Which, speaking of, this is a spreader gate. Just like a dump truck, you can pull the lever at the bottom, set the gauge, and spread. You can also pull the pin at the top and set the gauge, and you can lay it down like a pickup truck, or you can swing the door open in a barn door fashion, which would be the most common. Trailer does have your standard stop, turn, tails, and markers, and then they've actually put an extra set of markers at the outside on either side. It's also got the undermount ramps. Ramps on these, I believe, are 80-inch or just under 7 foot. Pretty typical length in the industry. So again, you see there, it is a 7-gauge floor. The other couple nice things that Lamar does, put a heavy-duty hinge on this. They also put that heavy-duty bumper on, and then they plate it out at the back of the I-beam frame. So another thing that's not standard, but we do put on these, that I'll kind of call our standard, because it's on pretty much all of our trailers, is the spare tire mount. In the event that you do purchase a spare with the trailer, it just gives you a spot to put it. Sounds like a minor detail until you're the guy that buys the trailer and has to figure out where to put it. Take a look at the underside of the trailer. So a couple nice things. If you take a look right there, you'll see Lamar nestles the bed frame. Okay, so by doing so, instead of being 32-inch deck height, they get down to about a 28-inch deck height without making any sacrifices structurally. So you'll see there, looking down the I-beam, the bed frame sits right down inside the main frame. And then you'll notice these are straight axles. So the benefit of doing the nestled bed frame is you get 4 inches lower to the ground without sacrificing any height on your axles. So some would get lower by doing a drop axle, whereas on these it still has the straight axle. So you have all the ground clearance, and you're going to get about a 28-inch load height instead of a 32. This is a 5/16 scissor, and on the scissor you'll notice the scissor mechanism, or the scissor cage, is made out of a 2x2 tube. So in the event you're not level when you're doing a video, you just pull the brake away, the trailer will stop itself. It's a 5/16 scissor. It's got the 2x2 tube mechanism. You're gonna get about a 45-degree angle. A couple things you'll notice at the scissor. They put a tube reinforcement at the back side with channel runners for extra support. Notice they put a cross beam for some protection on the scissor. All the hydraulics are contained around the outside of the beam. Here's a shot of your undermount ramps. Standard crossmember spacing on these is a 16. On most of ours, we upgrade to a 12. We just kind of assume that the average guy buying this trailer with the 7-gauge floor is probably going to be fairly heavy duty. So the 12-inch on center just gives some extra reinforcement to the trailer. Again, this unit is powder coated with the charcoal powder coat. Black is also available at no charge. Trailer's got 2-foot sides. There are optional 3- and 4-foot sides available. You can also do side extensions. Other colors are available at a charge. There's a few other options on this. We also stock this in what we call a deluxe model. Deluxe model has a few additional features. Those specs may change over time, but currently on the deluxe we do a hydraulic jack, oil bath hubs, rear jack stands, and there's a few other features on the deluxe. We call this the standard, and it does have a few options, including the 14 ply, the 12-inch on centers, and the spare tire mount charcoal powder coat as well. If you have any questions on this or any other trailers, feel free to give us a ring at 717-220-4220, or you can visit us on the web at bestchoicetrailers.com.